Hey everybody, Kenny E here, Black Iron Try. Welcome to this week's video where we're gonna do a real quick recap of last week's training. It was week number 5 of a maintenance block. Basically just trying to keep the energy up and keep the muscles working until we get into our formal training block in a few weeks. Also, I want to talk about what my goals are this upcoming season. The race we did on California in October was a great day, but I think I took full advantage of my fitness for the number of reasons that I describe in my race recap. But besides that, I've come to a realization about my overall weight, just how heavy I am. And so I've got some goals that I've set around that. And then we'll get into what I have decided to do in terms of racing next year. I have paid money, so I feel comfortable with sharing that. So without further ado, let's get into it. So we started the week off with an interval bike ride. These are always tough. If you've got your FTP set properly, these are going to be tough workouts where you're spending a few minutes up near your threshold, really getting a good workout in. This is a way to build power and endurance in a shorter amount of time, but it is challenging every single time. I wouldn't trade them for the world. We had a swim on Wednesday, so no footage for that. But then on Thursday, we went into a speed workout run, which again is intervals. And this might look innocent enough, but these are really, really tough. Spending a minute or so up near in Z5, basically higher than what your threshold is, that can be very, very challenging. Again, good workout. Then again, a swim on Friday, so no footage, but then on Saturday, we had an easy ride. So this is 2 hours on the trainer, indoors. And this is challenging, not only physically, but mentally, because you're pedaling, there's no coasting or anything like that. If you do it pure, which I did this day, you pedal the whole time. Shout out to my pro coach. That's my coaching team out of the UK. And knocked that out. So we got 2 hours in, felt good, surprisingly, just mentally taxing. And then we had a long run. At my coach's recommendation, broke it up at about 40 minutes and got in some run drills. Drills help help your form. They help keep the right muscles in your shin, your calf strong. Here we were doing high knees. We did some butt kickers. We did some heel walks and some A skips and what have you. Then back on the tread to knock out the last 30 of 70 minutes. Hey everybody, Kenny E here, Black Iron Try. And I'm on my way to another swim session. And I've been doing some thinking on my last race. Obviously doing a lot of thinking about my last race and what could have gone better, what I could have done to make my time shorter or whatever. And I think after putting together the video, the recap video, some of the shots I'm looking at, I'm like, I'm a big guy. You know what I'm saying? And I've always known that I'm heavy, and I've kind of written that off as part of my makeup, my genetics and whatnot. My mom likes to say we don't have bird bones. We're bigger folks. But in that race, before that race, I was really fit, and it fit for me anyway. And I had my abs were starting to show, and the whole bit. But I was looking at those videos, and I'm watching myself, after the swim, running down the path to get to transition, and there are the pros will tell you if you aren't light, you can't expect to do super well in I've always wondered, I train really hard. Why can't I get, hit that 13-hour mark, 12-hour mark when these guys are playing around with 8, 9, and 10 hours like it's nothing? And the size does come into play, and weight, and there's some things you can't get around. But it's a little frustrating for me to work as hard as I do and not be able to perform better. I think I'm going to throw up a couple of pictures of what I looked like back in, everybody looked different back in high school, whatever, but I remember being in college, when I first started college, and I was working out with some guys, and I told this, one administrator who was working out with us, that I weighed 195 pounds. And he told me, that's crap. And this is what I look like at 195 pounds. I mean, my rib cage, you can see my ribs. I'm a heavy guy, just in general. And Neil deGrasse Tyson talks about the rocket ship problem. And what that basically says is the further you want to go, the more fuel you have to carry, but then you have to have enough fuel to carry that fuel. And I think about, I watch these guys running and they're bouncing like nothing's to it. And, they put on these carbon shoes and they bounce even higher and they look like it's almost effortless. Whereas when I'm running, I feel like every time I hit the ground, it's 100,000 pounds of force. And I've got to lift that and I've got to push it. And so I've been thinking maybe I try to get down even lower. I've been shooting for sub 200 pounds for a while now. And the closest I came to it was a few years back. And I looked like people were worrying if I was sick. I looked so gaunt and thin. I may have a picture to throw up about that. But I think there's a healthy way to get to that number. And I just gotta wonder what it would be like to race at a weight, 20 pounds lighter than what I just raced, 20 to 25 pounds lighter at like 195 or whatever. So, in fact, I was close to that, the 195, 200 pounds back in 2020, and I was registered for IRONMAN Chattanooga. However, it was COVID and the race got canceled. I did do the race the following year in 2021, but I was not nearly in the shape I was in 2020. So I'm gonna try to do a little experiment here before my next race, and I'm gonna focus on fit, healthy weight loss and see how that impacts my overall racing. So bear with me on here over the next few months. I'm gonna throw up, I think I threw up a Fearless Friday recently about what I eat on a typical day. And let's see where we go from there. Just wanted to drop those bits of thought here, just because it's been on my mind. Anyway, as usual, I'm thankful for you guys. Thanks for your attention. Thanks for watching the show. And as always, be fearless. So I hopped on the scale this morning, so we'd have a reference point as I follow through this next few months prior to race day. I have two scales. This one has me at 225.5. It also gives fat percentage estimate. It has me to 18.5%, I believe. 18.5% body fat. And this scale also gives an estimate of visceral fat, 174.5 pounds of muscle, 12% visceral fat. So the other scale I use is one I've had for a while. And I believe this gets us right at the same, so it shows the same kind of weight. So 225 and some change. It gives a different percentage for fat though. It has me at only 14.5% or something like that, and has me another 10 pounds of muscle, 184 pounds of muscle compared to the other scale. I don't know which one is which. I'll eventually get a DEXA scan and throw one of these scales in the garbage, but there we are. Here's where we're starting. So I hope that gives some insight as to where my head is for this upcoming season with respect to my training and what my goals are. I went a little bit out of my comfort zone today, showing pictures with my shirt off. I normally don't do that. I know a lot of the super fit athletes, and even some who aren't super fit, are very comfortable with doing videos without their shirt on, and maybe one day I'll get there. But in the meantime, I thought it was important to kind of give you guys some perspective of where I've been, the highs and lows, even in this year, with respect to my weight and respect to managing my fitness expectations. So, with all that said, all that done, it's time to talk about where we're gonna race this upcoming season. I have made some decisions, and I won't be doing an Ironman this year. I'm gonna keep my promise to my partner in crime for at least this year. And I'm gonna stick with a couple of 70.3s. But the way I have it arranged, it should make it interesting. So I've paid for two 70.3s, and then there are some other races under consideration. I'm just looking at the schedule and logistics and that kind of thing. So without any more delay, here we go. Here's where we're racing in 2026. The first race, this will be my A race. This is gonna be Ironman 70.3 Gulf Coast. That's down in Panama City Beach, Florida. I have done this race before, both with the swim and with the swim canceled. I love going down there. My wife loves going down there, so it's on the schedule. Here's where it gets interesting. The very next weekend, I'm going to go down on May 17th to Ironman 70.3 Chattanooga. Here, I'm racing for a couple of reasons. One, that's where my buddies that race with me in Ironman California are racing this year. And two, they canceled the swim on us this year in 2025. So back we go. Races under consideration, try the Park Series here in Georgia. It's a series of 6 sprints and Olympic triathlons and duathlons. I was looking at April, but the workout there, that race is actually half as much as my planned workout for that day, so I may skip that one. But May is awful early to end the season, so we may throw 1 or 2 more in. And then I've talked to friends about going up to Chicago for the Chicago Triathlon. That is a full weekend of just fun. And last time I did this, they canceled the swim. I'd love to get up there and see friends. This is just purely logistics. We'll see how it goes. All right, folks, that'll do it for this week. Thanks for watching. We covered quite a bit last week's training, what our fitness goals are for 2026, as well as our race schedule. I am looking forward to seeing what this back-to-back 70.3 is going to feel like and look like. It's not an Ironman, so I'm getting away with it, right? But we'll see. Should be fun. A little nervous, but I like being nervous. It means I care, right? If you're not nervous before you hit that start line, it almost begs the question of whether to do it. If you like what you see here, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, help us build the channel. And if you don't like what you see, or you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them in the comment section. I do take those very seriously. I do read them. I'd say 25 to 50% of what I've posted so far has come from suggestions and input from viewers like you. So hit that button and we'll keep it moving. In the meantime, this is Kenny E signing off, reminding you, you do not have to be fastest, just be fearless.